All right, Bears fans, Monday Night Football looming in about 5 days against those loser Patriots, if you will, whatever they're calling them today. We got to get to 54,000 subs by Monday Night Football. That's the talk I had with my bosses. They said, hey, you're 155 subs away. Got to get there by Monday Night Football. So help us out. If you want daily Bears videos, the latest news, rumors, trade buzz, which we're going to get into on today's show, hit that sub button. Let's get to 54K for Brian Urlacher by Monday Night Football. And with that being said, let's jump on into today's show. What's up? Welcome into Chicago Bears Now. I am your host, Harrison Graham, and there is a report out there from Jason La Canfora that Robert Quinn could be on the move as the Bears are reportedly shopping him before the trade deadline, which is less than 2 weeks away. Now, let's get this out there before we dive into this. Jason La Canfora has a spotty record at best. But this makes sense, right? Like, if you can trade Robert Quinn and get out of that contract, even if you have to eat some of that contract, that's probably a route worth considering he hasn't played as well this year. Here's La Canfora, what he claims an NFL general manager told him on this topic. He says they want to move him, they being the Bears, but they are going to have to eat some of that contract to do it. And yeah, look, the Bears probably aren't going to get a ton for Quinn, especially considering he just has not played as well this year as he did last year. It'd be one thing if he was having slightly a down, a bit of a tick down, but he's not close to what he's been a year ago. So yeah, if you're expecting like a day 2 draft pick, think again on that one. All right, we'll dive into this a little bit more, but I want you guys to weigh in here. Will the Bears trade Robert Quinn? Prediction time. 2 weeks from now, when the trade deadline has come and gone, will he have been traded? Type T for trade, yes, he'll get traded. Or type K for keep, no, they're going to keep him. I think he gets dealt. Let me know what you guys think. T for trade or K for keep. Now, you look at Quinn's contract, as part of the report is saying that the Bears will likely have to eat some of it, and that also makes sense because he does not have a team-friendly contract based on how he's playing right now. Last year's production, sure, but you look at this year by year. This year, his cap hit $17 million, dead cap hit of $12.8 million, and if he were putting up these numbers, you'd be like, yeah, that's a good deal for a guy who's pushing 20 sacks, right? But then you look to what he's doing this year in production. It's not anywhere close to what that was. So now let's circle back to the contract here, producer Nick. You're saying, okay, yeah, the Bears may have to eat some of this contract if they trade him because next year, over $18 million cap hit, dead cap hit of $8.5 million. The year after that, $17.2 million. Like, if his production continues to go down, that's a bad contract. So if you're the Bears and say you get a 6th-round pick and have to eat a third of the contract, that might be something you're worth considering if you're Ryan Poles to just keep you flexible on the books next year and moving forward. I expect the Bears to have to eat some of the money on this deal if they do move Robert Quinn. Kind of think of the Baker Mayfield trade. I can't remember the exact numbers, but Cleveland had to eat some of the contract. I don't think the Bears will have to eat that much necessarily, but they will certainly have to eat a decent amount, I would have to guess. All right, more trade buzz coming up in just a second, but first, BetUS, listen, a lot of money to be made this football season, especially for you guys who are kind of advanced gamblers, or if you're a beginner, BetUS is a great place because if you go to chatsports.com/Bears and use promo code BEARDOWN, you're going to get 125% deposit bonus. How does that happen? Go to our link, chatsports.com/Bears, put down $100, plug in the promo code BEARDOWN, they'll give you 125 for free. If you want to go bet on Monday Night Football, that line keeps shifting in favor of New England. They're now 9-point favorites. It opened at 7.5. Total over-under between the two teams, 39.5. So they're basically saying this game's going to be 24-15, 23-15, somewhere in that range. Gosh, I hope we get a more entertaining game than we got the other night. Chatsports.com/Bears, promo code BEARDOWN to bet on this game or any other game throughout the season. All right, how about Roquan? Is he also going to get traded? Is he going to get traded too? There's not reports that the Bears are shopping him, but he's being brought up a lot in trade rumors. Bleacher Report put out an article of some trade ideas, and there was an idea of sending him to the LA Chargers, and that could be interesting because Brandon Staley, former Bears defensive coach, and Khalil Mack, who the Bears traded to the Chargers earlier this offseason, they are both there, so you've got that built-in relationship for Roquan, and it seems that the Bears and Chargers have a good relationship with trades, considering Ryan Poles' first big move was to trade Khalil Mack. Here's the trade idea from Bleacher Report. First-round pick for Roquan Smith, which, hey, listen, if a first-round pick is on the table for Roquan Smith, that is something that is very appealing, okay? Like, this would be very appealing to me, and I love Roquan. I've defended Roquan. I think he's a hell of a player, and if the Bears end up paying him, I'm not going to be upset about it. But if you could get a first-round pick for him, that's something you really got to look into if you're Chicago. I'm not convinced they can get a first, but if you can, if a team wants him that bad, Ryan Poles, you got to be willing to pull the trigger potentially, my friend. Would you trade Roquan Smith for a first-round pick? Let's say that exact trade is on the table. Would you do it? Type Y for yes, type N for no. I mean, you got to consider it, man. You have got to consider it, considering Roquan is an off-ball linebacker. You look at the numbers for Roquan this year. He's been good. He hasn't been, I would say, peak Roquan, although he's had his moments, but he also has missed some key tackles at times. 66 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, 1.5 sacks. He does have an interception, and we know what he's meant to this team the last 4 or 5 years. Trading Roquan Smith would not be easy. Like, I'm not sitting here saying, yeah, just dump him, but first-round pick, like, that's a different ball game at this point if that is on the table. I'm not convinced it is, but if it is, yeah, that's something you really got to consider because you have so many needs on the offensive side of the ball. If you could enter next year's draft with 2 first-round picks, you've got a lot of flexibility to either make a big trade or to draft really good players in the first round. That is something that if you are Ryan Poles, you would have to consider, no doubt about it. So you look back at the trade here, a first for Roquan. I mean, I think I'm talking myself into it as I'm filming this video. If this trade is on the table, I would do it because A, you're not paying an off-ball linebacker $20 million per year, and B, you're getting a first-round pick, and you have a GM that believes in building a roster with draft capital. I would have to think that Ryan Poles would be very appealed by doing this trade. All right, who is more likely to be traded? We've talked about both on today's show. Type RQ for Robert Quinn or type RS for Roquan Smith. Who do you think is more likely to get dealt before the NFL trade deadline? Go ahead and cast your votes down in the comments. All right, appreciate everybody for tuning in to today's show. A lot of more trade buzz to come. We'll have a trade candidates video going out probably tomorrow unless more news drops, so be on the lookout for that. It'll drop tomorrow or Friday potentially, so hit that sub button here on Bears Now. You can follow me on social media as well, at HGramNFL on Twitter, same handle on Instagram, at HGramNFL. If you have any questions, hit me up. Hit the sub button. Got to get 54,000 by Monday Night Football, and we'll see you soon here on Chicago Bears Now.